Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. And today's video is going to be a roundup of this past week, as well as some information for the upcoming week, as well as a few things you're going to want to pick up if you have time in the next 24 hours, as some of them will be removed, and I have no idea when we're going to see any of this stuff again. A couple of these things are very unique, so especially for solo players, it's a good time to jump on the game, at least for a few minutes, pick up a few of these items. We'll cover all that information in today's video, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things that I just mentioned also enter you into any future giveaways on this channel, and we do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. When we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away a new console or a video card if you play on PC. You can also stick around till the end of the video. As always, for the secret hashtag, you can leave in the comments section for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Remember, I do those secret hashtags on all videos, so if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course do it again. Or you could leave a comment down below on any of your thoughts of the topics of discussion in today's video, or anything I might mispronounce during the course of this video. Leave that in the comment section. Both of those will also give you another entry into the next giveaway for this video. So first off, I'm gonna give our boy Archie here a little pet, as he's a very good boy. And somebody said in my last video, I ran right by Archie and didn't give him any attention. And well, we're not going to do that again. Not around here. Too much of a dog lover. Love cats too, but we only have a dog in the game at this moment. Over at Ada1, if you were looking for any of these shaders, make sure to pick them up before tomorrow, as some of them haven't been around for quite some time. I don't know when the last time this one was sold, but stuff like this usually doesn't come up in rotation that often. The green shader, I think New Pacific is here often enough, but like I said, I don't know when exactly this shader was for sale, but this is a pretty cool one. So pick these up if you don't have them. Occasionally, a shader won't be sold for a whole year, so let's hope it's not the case with the Satu tribe. Probably said it incorrectly. We also had, of course, the New Pacific Sync and the War Cult Rain. Kind of a relic from faction rallies. If you remember faction rallies, please let me know in the comment section down below. That'll, of course, give you another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Something that I always thought should have been reworked. I guess it did get reworked a little bit with Guardian games and stuff like that, but I don't know. Faction rallies seemed like a really fun idea when they were first, I wouldn't say introduced, because when they were introduced, they weren't really that fun, but when the thought was first thrown around as far as how we would do them and what they would do in the game, how they would play into the game, it sounded like a lot of fun. Would still like to see a rework to faction rallies one of these days. We had XUR for the weekend. They're also disappearing tomorrow and won't return until Friday. So if you're looking to pick up the Vigilance Wing Catalyst or the Lord of Wolves Catalyst, which has been sold now, I believe, only 4 times in its entire history of XUR, or since XUR has been able to sell Exoitc Catalyst. This is now the 4th time, 2 weeks in a row, but don't miss it, because other than these last 2 weeks, it really has not been sold that much. And it's a very rare catalyst. It's a very good Exoitc catalyst. And the Lord of Wolves is incredible for PvE DPS at the moment. We had a 67 roll for the Hunter class, the Phidias Fife Exotic Armor Piece for the chest. We had the Dune Marchers with a 68 roll. Definitely pick these up on a Titan, especially for solo players. And then we had the Prometheus Spurs with a 66 roll. Fairly good rolls all around, though I don't know if necessarily all of these are super meta exotics, but pick them up if you don't have them before tomorrow's reset. We also had Artifice Armor available for the class item. Exotic Ciphers available for the Exotic Quest from XUR, or Exotic Cipher Quest, as well as from the currency. For weapons, we had a Hawkmoon with Eye of the Storm and I believe, yes, Smooth Grip. And I actually went ahead and picked this up because I had a whole bunch of Hawkmoons that were in my vault that disappeared. I guess I must have deleted them or I don't know what, but I haven't used a Hawkmoon in a long time. It's really a PvP focused weapon. I was using it this week, and I have to say, this Hawkmoon, this is not a good Hawkmoon, but this one was pretty good in PvP. So what I'm saying is that Hawkmoon in general seems to be very good in PvP again. Maybe it has been for a little while and I just haven't given it enough attention. But this particular role, which I would have said is maybe a A-tier role, low A, high B tier role, was actually still doing very good. In normal Crucible, I haven't tried it in Trials of Osiris, but I will make sure to mention Hawkmoons more specifically every week when we cover XUR, just because there could be a really good one out there and you never want to miss it. We have a Crimson, which is good for PvP as well as PvE. We had the Merciless, which used to be good for DPS. I don't know if it still is. And then we had our go-to DPS heavy weapon in the Thunderlord. Looks like Real Dez is joining me in the tower. So you can leave a Real Dez, hashtag Real Dez in the comment section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Nothing truly stand out as far as legendary weapons went, in my opinion. But if any of these were of your interest, make sure to pick them up. We had the glitched armor this week from XUR, so nothing good there. Banshee 44 was actually, I think, much better this week, so we're going to head over to him, as there was one particular weapon which I think everybody should pick up, and we've been lucky enough to have these a couple of weeks in a row. Hopefully we'll have it again next week. We're also going to have of course, new Nightfall and new Nightfall weapon next week, as well as new dungeons and raids. We'll cover those in just a second. But over at Banshee 44, if you have not picked up the Marcado 45, this is a fully enhanceable weapon right out of the box from Banshee. He's only sold enhanceable weapons, I think, 4 or 5 times at this point. There was another roll on this particular heavy machine gun last week, which had hatchlings. This one has slice. Both are the 2 best perks you can get for a strand machine gun, in my opinion. And like I said, you can have the enhanced version of slice with this weapon if you buy it. So if you can get, there's a week where we have slice and hatchling. That's actually the roll that I have personally. That will be the best roll to buy, and if it can be enhanced there, that's incredible. So I'll be on the lookout for that, but this is a very good one to buy if you don't have a decent strand heavy machine gun. I actually would say this is on the better side of strand heavy machine guns. Like I said, it's my go-to strand heavy machine gun, so take that what you will. We had a craftable Nezarec's Whisper, which can be really good, and we had a craftable Hall Denial Trace Rifle, which can also be very, very good this week. Also, a Sail Spy Pitch Glass with Vorpal Weapon also can be craftable. What's going on, Real Dez? Hanging out with me in the tower. Next week, we will also have, give him a little push, Iron Banner. So would expect that, and there won't be Trials of Osiris next weekend because of it. So if you were looking to farm out the Trials weapon or any Trials weapon, might as well do it while we still have Trials available for the next 24 hours. But Lord Saladin will be back in the tower, and I would recommend everybody farming out a Tenacious Mastery while we have the chance, because I don't know when that weapon will no longer be. Well, I suppose it'll always be available, but there might be a good roll for the rank reward version of it this week, hopefully, fingers crossed. So I do think it's going to be a reasonable week to farm out Iron Banner. We had the Palindrome with double Nightfall rewards available this week. Also remember, this week was the featured version of the Sunless Cell as the Nightfall, and if you were able to complete this Nightfall on any difficulty, you will earn yourself a new emblem for completing this Nightfall, though it will be given out at a later date. So if you do not receive the emblem, just know it's because it has not been, I guess, actually rewarded as of yet. Although I think some people were able to get it, but if you didn't get it, you will receive it at a future date. Sunless Cell was a very interesting strike. I'm glad to see it back from D1. But make sure you do it this week while we still have this Nightfall available if you want that emblem, because otherwise you have to wait until this strike is in rotation again, and that might be a while. I don't even know when it'll be this episode, but it could be the very tail end of it possibly. Next week we're also going to have the Plug 1 as the featured Nightfall weapon. And I believe it is going to be Heist Battleground Mars next week. So we'll be getting the Adept version of Plug 1 and the Heist Battleground Mars. If you'd like to know a few tips and tricks, glitches that you can use as a solo player in the Heist Battleground Mars, you can also let me know in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Over at the Eververse store, a few interesting items that will also be disappearing tomorrow at reset. We had the inventory management emote. Kind of looks like Marathon if you ask me. Go figure. We had the Crimson Rocket vehicle. Will you load? Very cool. Down on the bottom for Bright Dust, we had the Shattered Heart weapon ornament for the Cold Heart Trace Rifle. We also had the All-Terrain Explorer. The Synth Howl. Very cool. And then we had the Celestial Shell. Also the Head Slam Exoitc emote. Very nice. Now lastly, in the tower, we'll head down to St. 14. If you were grinding out Trials of Osiris this weekend, hopefully you had some good luck and were able to maybe get a flawless card or at least get to the Lighthouse in order to get some Adept loot and just see the night Lighthouse. I think it's one of the coolest locations. I've often thought that I don't understand why St. 14 is in the tower. I think because he appears in the Lighthouse, we should just have him be in the Lighthouse as the vendor and put something else here. I don't know. I think it's sort of boring having him in the tower hangar. Let me know in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway. Would you rather see St. 14 as the vendor just in the Lighthouse and that's where you go in order to pick up your Lighthouse passages and or loot, or are you happy with them in the tower and having the Lighthouse just as that special location that we visit once we've actually completed a Lighthouse card? This week we had the Tomorrow's Answer, which is very good for PvE. So if you want the Adept version, you still have 24 hours in order to get it. And remember, we will, as I said before, not have trials next weekend. Now quickly, we'll make our way around the directory really fast. We still had the Operation Seraph Shield as our exotic mission this week, but I believe it should be Node Avalon for the Glaive, the exotic Glaive, whose name escapes me at the moment. Let me know in the comment section down below for another entry, of course, into the giveaway, but that should be the exotic mission next week. If you are still trying to, I don't know why I went to Neptune, meant to go to Europa. If you're still trying to farm out, hopefully Europa loads, the Vespers host for the Icebreaker, still glitched, unfortunately, and no real known time frame for when it's going to actually get fixed. So maybe save yourself some time farming out Vespers host, which I also think is going to be one of the featured dungeons in the coming week. So maybe skip out on that if it is. There's also been, I guess, the same issue plaguing the new dungeon, the Sundered Doctrine, though I guess less likely to have the issue of not getting the exotic when you are farming. For the featured raids this week, we had the Crota's End as well as Vault of Glass. I believe for next week, we are going to have, I believe, Vow of the Disciple and possibly Root of Nightmares, or I have to get back to you on that. I will leave it in the comments section down below once I know exactly, but can't remember what the other raid was going to be. If you know, please let me know in the comments, but we'll cover more of that information as it comes tomorrow and over the course of the week. Also remember that if you haven't picked up any of your chess pieces, there are still a whole bunch in the last city, in Eris's apartment, and around the surrounding areas, but make sure to try to complete all that before we obviously continue with the story, as there will be a continuation next week. And that is going to conclude all the information in today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. Any of those comments I might have asked for, you can leave in the comment section down below for another entry into the next giveaway. If you've watched till this point in the video, you can also leave a hashtag the final shape, hashtag Heresy, or a hashtag Trials, or hashtag XUR, or hashtag Iron Banner in the comment section down below, or hashtag Real Dez, as he joined me today and was my buddy in the tower, or like I said, any of the other things I might have mispronounced or questions I might have asked to the community, you guys out there, for any sort of info or feedback. It's always appreciated. All those things will give you more entries into the next giveaway. We're very close to 88,000, so who knows, maybe we'll even get there this week. And once more, I am Wilhelm Scream. We will see you next time.